place. As the bastion of democracy, it is a place where bills are presented, motions debated, laws made, and the yearnings of the people are laid bare. Come with us as we take you through the workings of the National Assembly. We take you through plenary, committee meetings, and probes, all to ensure smooth working of the democratic process.
The economic situation in the country has caused widespread agitation and even led to civil disobedience in Kano and Niger states. A lawmaker from Kano State, Doguwa, tells us the mood of the people. He is also the chairman of the Special Committee on Ore Theft, and he talks about efforts to stop this economic crime.
I think, in my view, Nigeria is in economic problems, yes. Nigeria facing security issues, yes. Challenges of banditry, kidnappings, and some other social vices, yes. Challenges in some of our institutions, like the educational institution, fine. But I want to disagree with you on record, madam. We are not in a crossroad. We are not in a crossroad. A country like Nigeria that has luckily gotten a leader who, by all chances, by all measures of leadership, is somebody that we believe in. I want to tell you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is one leader that each and every one of us has to be proud of. I am proud of him, and I never regretted voting for him to serve as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And when you have someone who has focus, someone who has the experience, someone who has the capacity to lead by example, not only by example, if you go through his track record, is somebody who has put on ground what one can call advanced leadership, democratic leadership. He has in him the ability to carry people along, and he has his own policies and programs which he believes in them. And those of us who belong to the ruling party, of course, we believe in those policies. But when you now start, for instance, first quarter, second quarter, I mean in quarters, in gradual assessment, for instance, first month, second month, third month, fourth month, you are likely to go through what you can call like what the aircraft operators will say turbulence. One is likely to come through turbulence. You are likely to come across potholes on the road. This is naturally what we are going through. Okay, but the focus of our leader, who is the president of the nation today, can never be mistaken to be called as if we are in a crossroad. We are not in a crossroad. He is focused. He knows where we are going, and he's navigating to get us to the promised land. Of course, agreed, there are challenges and issues, and these are issues, most of which were caused, in my opinion, caused by global factors, global parameters. It's not just happening in Nigeria. Same thing is happening in Niger Republic, even worse. Same thing is also happening in Ghana, for instance. And if you go even to the so-called advanced countries, you still come across some of these economic challenges and what have you. They may be in different dimensions or different proportions, but they are all the same. I do not want to assume the position of the spokesperson of the government of the Federation. I'm only speaking as a member of the ruling party. I'm also speaking as someone who has some little understanding of the commitment and determination of Mr. President at close range. I know who Mr. President is. I know how patriotic he is, and I know how committed and determined he is to ensure that he pilots the affairs of our economic development in this nation right. And I'm assuring you, sooner or later, we will get out of these challenges. When you are coming up with policies that may be strange, some policies that should have been taken long ago, but simply because leaders decided to be political about them, they decided not to take that decisions. And you now have a person who has now taken the bull by the horn to say, oh, it should be this way, and we must go by this way. And every one of us is convinced that some of these things that Mr. President has taken, some of the steps he has taken, of course, might be very painful at the moment. But I want to tell you, I'm one of those leaders, I'm one of those members of the National Assembly that believes that yes, day in, day out, we will get out of this trouble. But what we are now seeing on the streets by way of protest is of serious concern to the government and to those of us representing the people. And I want to believe that what the people are doing on the street are genuine. There is a cause of, for instance, expressing genuine concerns of the deteriorating livelihood of our people, because of course the economy is getting tougher and tougher again, and also prices of commodities, especially basic commodities, are skyrocketing, and actually they are creating a lot of concerns amongst our people. Those of us who are representing our people, we are also concerned. We are worried, but the best we could do is to put on the floor, to put on the table the true situations Nigerians are passing through, to also extend the feelings of the people to the executive arm of government, which of course is being led by Mr. President. I think we have done that severally by way of motions, sometimes resolutions of the House of Representatives, sometimes even private visits to Mr. President. We have done that. And I believe those efforts we are making will go a long way in actually attracting Mr. President's attention to the concern and the affairs of the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Today, as I'm speaking to you, Mr. President is meeting with the governors of the Federation right away, what you can call an emergency meeting. And don't also forget the crunch of what we call the effects of the withdrawal of the subsidy. People never understand. It is having its own side effect on the negative, but it has more of a prospective advantage to the people on the other side. But it's like people don't look at that. When you talk of high cost of commodities, when you talk of a high sense of operational livelihood of the people, when you talk of probably failure of power and what have you, when you talk of security itself, people will always say, oh, this is the affairs or the business of the federal government. I am one of the very few Nigerians that will boldly tell you that it is not a sole business of the federal government alone. It is the business of the local government councils. It is also the business of our respected state governors. And when they put hands together, I think some of these things can be addressed, because these are things that are happening at various levels, societal, various levels of societal existence. Some of them happen right in the wards, in the villages. Some of such things also happen at the local government levels. So you will not expect Mr. President to be all over. That is why he is called the president. And you have other people also called as governors, and you have other people also called as local government chairmen. If collectively they put hands together and work against these vices, then Nigeria will thrive. You see, crude oil theft and vandalization of pipelines and our federal assets in the oil and gas sector is what one can call a long-standing problem in our economy. It has started long ago. Unfortunately, no solution was found to it. In the 9th Assembly, we had a committee of this nature. In the 8th Assembly, we had a committee of this nature. So it's like now we are now taking the next step from where previous committees have stopped. I want to tell you that what we are now beginning to do differently is to engage, because when you are talking of security, it's about our relevant security agencies. You wouldn't expect the House to just get there and be responsible directly for protecting or securing our national assets in the oil and gas sector. You need the security agencies, relevant security agencies, the Nigerian Armed Forces, the police, the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps. And sometimes we have to also engage and encourage the activities of private security organizations. They are all involved. So what we are now doing differently is to get these people together, let them have what you call a sense of collaboration and sense of partnership, working together. But in a situation whereby you have rivalry, misunderstanding among the security agencies in terms of their operations, in terms of their area of jurisdictions, whether air or high sea or shallow waters operation, then definitely you will continue to have problems and you will not get this thing right. This committee is therefore all out to galvanize and put together the efforts of all these security agencies to see how we can be able to actually fight the menace of crude oil theft and vandalization of our national assets in the shores of places where we call, what do you call them, the oil producing states. The essence, or the basic intent for this is for the House to contribute to the need and the desire for the oil and gas to have an increased production. When you have increased production, then you create what you call an enabling environment for the oil and gas sector, especially for the NNPC and the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, to be able to meet up our international obligation in terms of providing the OPEC quota that has always been allocated to Nigeria. In some cases in the past, we've not been able to meet the quota. Even the projection in the budget, which has never fallen below 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 projection, in some cases you find out getting not up to 50% of what we had projected in the budget. But by God's grace, with the commitment we have, and with the kind of leadership and the mandate given to us by the House leadership led by Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, I want to assure you that this committee will be out doing very differently to see to the success not only of the committee as a legislative institution, but to see to the success of all other agencies of government who may be involved one way or the other in protecting and securing our national oil asset, which at the end will enhance production. And when production is enhanced, our foreign reserve will be increased, the naira value will also be restored, and of course our obligation in terms of the global market in OPEC will also be sustained. These are the challenges we are facing.
That is our package for you this week. Do not forget you can watch a repeat broadcast on Sunday at 7 a.m. Also, you can see